comic book movie year hasn't been great. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine aside, Madam Web was a complete and total disaster. Joker Folie is a complete and total disaster, especially at the box office. But there's still a couple more on the horizon. Yeah, we got Craven. Sure, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Watch that be the one movie that actually does like surprisingly well and is surprisingly good for the rest of the year. But as it is right now, Venom 3. Venom The Last Dance is on the horizon. Now, this has been as big of a failure as Sony's Spider-Man-less universe, their centered, villain-focused movies have been. Venom has been their shining star. Venom has been like the one franchise consistently in this universe, this cinematic universe that Sony's trying to do, that actually connects with the audience and has been financially successful. So with the third Venom movie coming out, seemingly Tom Hardy's last ride, it's called The Last Dance. He has already said in interviews that this is his last time with the big guy. He's not going to be back, blah, 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 blah. There's rumors about him coming into Spider-Man 4, or this movie being connected to Spider-Man 4, all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on with Venom The Last Dance. So the question is going to become, especially after the abysmal disaster that Joker Folie was at the box office, how's Venom 3 going to do? How is Venom 3 going to do? Well, we have some predictions. Because if you look over here at Deadline, they're saying Venom The Last Dance hopes to make October box office prance with a 70 million. Now remember, this was also the projections they gave to Joker Folie, but they're saying a 70 million opening forecast. Here's what they go on to say. With Warner Brothers' Joker Folie bombing and this past weekend's overall ticket sales being off 43% from the same period a year ago, the October box office might feel kind of sluggish. It's at this point in time that we say, where are you, Venom? A nation's box office turns its lonely eyes to you. Literally. Tracking has Sony's black-clad fanged Spider-Man anti-hero, Venom The Last Dance, set to do $70 million opening when it hits theaters on October 25th. True, that's the lowest start in the Venom trilogy, behind 2021's Venom Let There Be Carnage, which was a $90 million, the third best for October, and the 2018 original start, $80.2 million, the fourth best for the month. But after the crater left by Joker 2, heck, we'll take $70 million. Let's hope those projections don't buckle. At that level, Venom 3 would be the second best opening in 2024 for a comic book feature after Deadpool and Wolverine's, still can't believe it, $211.4 million opening weekend. So, here's what they're saying. They're saying Venom could get what Joker Folie was supposed to get, and that's $70 million opening weekend. Now, I'm not particularly a big fan of this franchise. Don't like the first one very much, though I was there opening night. And the second one, I like a little bit more. But again, not really a huge fan of this franchise. But I have thought the trailers for Venom 3 have been pretty solid, pretty fun. And this being Tom Hardy's last ride, they're trying to add a little emotional element to it. Don't know if that's actually going to work or not in the movie itself. But what I will say, and you guys might think I'm crazy, and I'm probably wrong, because I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. This is probably one of those times I'm wrong. But I think this is going to have a bigger opening. I think this is going to have a bigger opening than 70 million. Yeah, I know. I know. You think I'm crazy. You think I'm nuts for saying that. Well, let's go back to those box office predictions, shall we? Or projections. So this is Venom 2018. Now, obviously, this is a very different time for comic book movies, and this is the first Venom movie that we ever got in the theater, so there was a lot of hype surrounding it. And like it said in the article, it opened to $80 million domestically on its opening weekend. Again, 2018, Marvel Phase 3 is booming. DCEU hasn't completely blundered yet. Totally different time for comic book movies. This is where I really have my eye on, though. And that's Venom Let There Be Carnage. Because true, again, this was a different time for comic book movies. 2021 we're just starting to get out of the pandemic. Theaters are still closed in some places. Some people can't make it out to the theater to go see Venom. Some people had to stay home and miss it. Some people chose just to miss it because the first one didn't work for them, like me. But this thing, in 2021, it still had a domestic opening of $90 million. $90 million opening weekend, and that's in 2021. When there's still kind of pandemic floating around, not every theater is open, and not everyone likes Venom. But there's a big fan base for this. And the fact that the second one, again, also it had Carnage. Carnage is a big comic book movie fans' dream to see on the big screen. Woody Harrelson was playing him. There was a lot of stuff going in that regard too for Venom Let There Be Carnage. But let's not act like the fact that a big villain from the comic books was coming into this movie actually played that big of a mark in the box office. Comic book movie fans, they were already going to go see this, the majority of them. The casual audience, I don't think that they were that increased in excitement with the adage of Carnage. Venom is what sells it. And it made $90 million opening weekend. So you get to Venom Last Dance, and they're saying $70 million, which I think is a very, very reasonable projection for sure. $70 million. Look, if this thing opens and it makes $70 million, Tom Hardy, they're going to be very thrilled. Sony, especially after what Madam Web did, they're going to be very thrilled. And some people would say, with Madam Web being a disappointment, with Joker Folie being a disappointment and bombing at the box office, so that's going to hurt Venom. I honestly think, and again, I could be wrong, I think it's going to help Venom. I think it's going to help Venom because when you looked at Joker, when you looked at those previews and trailers, it looked so, in a way, dire and kind of gray. And yeah, they had some musical elements in there, but no one kind of knew what to expect, what it was. And now we've seen it, and a lot of people are depressed by it. Venom and the Venom franchise has consistently always just wanted its fans to have a good time. They've always just wanted to have fun. And for the majority, they have jumped on board the train. The majority have had fun with Venom. The box office proves it. 80 million opening for the first one, 90 million opening for the second one in 2021. That is not to be glossed over. That is not to be glossed over at all. That the second movie increased the domestic box office opening from the first one in 2021. That's huge. Now, all the theaters are open. We're not in the pandemic times anymore. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I'm going to say 80 to 85 million. I think Venom, honestly, could crack 100 million. I would not be surprised if Venom 3 comes out October 25th. And that following Monday, we're talking about Venom having a $110 million opening weekend. Now, could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Maybe this is that time. But to me, 70 million, rather respectable. Seems kind of like a low ball. Seems low ball in it. So I'm putting that out there. I'm up for criticism. Hey, you may be coming back October 29th, whatever it's going to be, and you're going to be telling me, hey, you're wrong, Zach. Look at how bad it failed. Look at that. It did 55 million. It did 60 million. It hit that 70-75 million range. You were wrong, Zach, and that might be, but I'm just putting it out there right now. I think Venom 3 is going to open bigger than 70 million. I think we're looking at 85, maybe 100 million. But that's just me, and I'm no expert, so what do I know?